going to do today is going to do quite a few things, but we're going to create this search functionality. So we've got 6 cards on each page, so 12 altogether. So if we search by there will be 11 that have this. So there's 5 on this page and then 6 on the other page. So you can see that there's 11 that have been returned by the search on there, because 11 cards have there on it. But if we clear the search, then you can see we go back to 12. So we've got 6 on each page. Right, the next bit, so I'm going to show you that this search is working. So you can see only 1 card gets returned, and then if we clear it, then it goes away. What else are we going to do? We're going to create a card details page. So if we go into this card, then we've got all these different comments, and this is going to scroll to all the way to the bottom of this comment. So let's say big is just a comment, but it's going to scroll all the way down to it. So all the way down to the comments, and I made this comment, but if someone else logs in, then they can make the comment. We're also going to create this recommender system. So it's going to recommend by tags that are here. So it will recommend similar cards basically. So hopefully you're going to enjoy making this part, and I'll see you in the video. Is we're going to set up the search functionality. The search functionality is actually going to have pagination with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a search box here, but we're not going to search it from this page. We're going to direct to a search page, because this page has got pagination in it, so we don't want the two things to interfere basically. So we're going to do that now, and you're going to see how to do that. So if we go to the login page, we should get a text box. Let's just copy one of these, and then we can then just play around with it. And then let's just change this to search. Right, search, okay, and then I can just get rid of that. Change this to search as well. And then we need to set up this use state. So if you go in here, type in use state. And let's type in search. And then in here we've got search. Okay, then that should work. Let's just put an empty string here. Right, and then if we do a button, and we're going to click that button, then we're going to do the handle search. So button, then put that in as search, and then on click, click, we want handle search. Search, okay, there, and then if we type in CF, we can create that function, CF, then it's handle search, D, handle search, then in here we need to then handle the search, so do router.push, 2 brackets, and then do backticks, and then it's /src/search. We need to create this search page, and then it's going to be equal to, and then it's going to be $search. Right. Oh, we need a question mark here as well, sorry. And then we need to create this router, I think. Oh, we've got use router. Have we got the router? Yeah, we've got the router here, so that should be fine. Okay, we need to create the search page, so type in search.js, and then in here we want, if you type in NAFCE, then it should give you some boilerplate. If you're using my boilerplate thing, JavaScript page, and then okay, what we can do is we can do, let's bring in the router and then see if we get the query correctly. So So N router. This should be C router. And then let's do C const search is equal to router.query. Okay, and then let's console log that, C log search. Okay, right, let's try this now. Might work, might not work. Something might go wrong. Yep, like that. Let's try that. Bring that in. Okay. The button, got the search. Right, let's try it, see if that works. Okay, we console logged. Let's see if that console logged is there. Undefined. But we are here, and we are getting the as a search query here. So I'm just going to find out why that happened. After doing some debugging, what I realised is this should be search here. Right, now it should work, hopefully. Right, let's go back, try that again. The search, and then we've got it here in the console. So yeah, that's working now. And on this page, we need to basically send this to the backend and retrieve it. And we need to make this page look like they are not actually going to a different page. So we're just going to do that now. These buttons now. So let's change this to variant because contained. And then full width. Right, now it's looking quite good. When we click on the, and it comes to this page, we want it to look exactly the same as that page, so we need to just basically copy everything across, because we will change this a little bit, but it needs to look exactly the same for now. So let's just copy everything across. Because of that one. That was declared already, so let's get rid of that one. Anything else? Okay, so the rest of it is just complaining about that stuff. Right. Let's copy this. What's happened there? I don't like it. Okay, looks fine. And then let's copy this. I don't know if we need it, but no, I'm copying it. Right, let's do that. Okay, so saying that this postcard doesn't exist there, so that's fine. It doesn't exist there. We need to find where it is. Let's just get rid of some of these. Don't need them. Right, so it's complaining about, oops, postcard. Where's postcard? There is. So I think postcard was a bit more like that, is it? Okay, that worked. Post actions as well. Actions. Number 12. Yeah, so that's right, hopefully that's worked. Paginate. Let's do that to paginate as well. Oh, it's worked, I think. So let's see what happens if we try and go there. Okay, something's missing. Let's go back. see what that looks like. I think it's this one. Let's try getting this one in here. Right, hopefully that's worked. Right, so we're in the right place, it's working perfect. Not push this, we need to post this to, right, so if we do this, so if we do C data, we should get some boilerplate. And then we want to go post, and we're going to post to API, then search, posts, and then the rest of it can look like this, I think. So let's copy that, put it in here, and then we can just get rid of this, I think. And let's console log the data that we get back. Right, and then just for now, let's set up the backend part. Where is it? API/posts, and then let's make a search component. So search.js. Then I think we can just copy this, go in here, search. Right, let's change this to post. Are we actually going to send anything for this? I can't remember. Right, I think that should work. Let's console log what we get back. Let's console log the rec method. Let's console log the rec method when we get in here, I think. Let's delete this and then. Okay, that should work. Right. We're just going to create a new function called, we're going to call it post search. And we're going to just move this into post search. We're still going to need a handle search, so we'll leave that as it is. Go in here, put handle search, and then we're going to create a use effect with post, because you can put as many use effects as you want. So we're going to create a use effect with post search, and then we're going to pass in the search and a number. Post search, and then we're going to pass in search and a number. Let's go, let's create a state with use state. And it's going to be num, and set num. This number's first going to be 1. And then in here, okay, so then we've passed that number in here, and then we're going to bring it in here, search, and then search, and then num. Right, now we need to bring in Axios, import Axios from Axios. Right, and then that should work here. It should work now. Oh, no, it shouldn't work because we haven't put this in here. Like that, and then in here we need to pass in these two. Right, where's this num not showing here? Num, yeah, that's fine. Right, let's go back and then press the third, and then let's see if we get anything in the back. Nope, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I know why it didn't work. So, it's not that bit in here. In here we need to also pass in the num, and then we also need to pass in the config. And then this config, if you just type in CC, we should get some little boilerplate if you're using my. Get rid of that. Let's move this inside here. Then right, okay. UP. Okay, because I haven't passed these in here. Okay, we didn't import Axios on this one. I don't know where I imported Axios though, but it's not here. Doesn't look like. Right, now it should work, I think. Right, yep, got some posts. Perfect. It's just console log direct body. See if that works. Perfect, right. Now in the back end, we're going to handle the search that we get from the front end. So we're going to get something through the query that we're sending, and then plus through the body, we're going to get the number as well. So we're going to actually paginate our results as we get them, like our search results. So we're going to need to bring this in, this pagination stuff. So let's copy this, paste it in here. This time the page is actually going to come from the rec body, so let's do that. Let's just copy this as well, and then that's going to be equal to that. Oops. Hold on. It's going to be equal to that. Okay. And then what else are we going to do? We're going to get the this return here for at the moment, because we're not going to do this pagination yet, so we don't need to do it yet. And then we can close this, and in here let's get the rec query as well and get the search from the rec query. So const search, and let's call the search query, because that's a bit more accurate. I mean, we don't need to do this, but just it's a bit interesting. Makes it a little bit more interesting. Query. Okay, and then in here, let's console log the page and the rec query. Okay, so clog. Let's just make sure we're in here. So we will be anyway, but it's what's this search? Let's call it search, and then in here we're gonna do the page and the page, and then after page we're gonna do search. Okay, there should be a comma here. Oops. Right, that should work. We've got search in there twice, but it doesn't matter. Why is it taking so long? Right, let's do that. Right, click on that. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on here. Search is not defined. Okay, this is search query actually, so it's not defined. That's correct. Then we can get rid of this as well. Right, that should now work. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, undefined. Search the search page. Okay, so the query is there, but the page isn't. And the page, I think, is called num. So let's try num. And then let's try num. Oops, num. Right, now that might work. First of all, let's do it on this page, because if you're already on that page, then you also want to be able to search. So search the one. So yeah, this number is now coming in. So I think we're going to rename this in the before we send it anyway. So let's call it page for now. Even though we wasn't getting a page, let's go in here and call this page as well instead of num. Page, and then here we could let's call it page as well. Right, I think that should still work. Yeah, it's still working fine. Okay, right. Next, we're going to start doing the search. So let's have a look in here. So we need to search the documents and find the correct documents. So I'm going to do that next. What we're going to do is we're going to create this search query into 3 different variables. So const title equals search query equals regexp. So we're converting into regex searches just so it's more efficient and we're going to put it as an I, so just a bit more better in the search for when they search the MongoDB database basically. And then when the search goes into the MongoDB database, so this one is tags. So what we're getting is a more efficient search, basically the regex. And then what we need to do is get this total again, but instead of the total, what we need to do is we need to just do a normal find, and then in here we need to do an OR. So $OR, $OR, then it's going to be an array, and then it's going to be an array of those 3 objects. So an array of title or message or tags. I think this should work. That should be like that. Right, hopefully this should work. And then this is gonna, let's change this to search, because we're gonna get the documents back here, but we can get the totals. Const total is equal to search.length, and then that will give us the total. So that should work. This should actually be lowercase, so let's just change that, and then we need to put this then in here as well. So let's do that. We can take out this return keyword now because we've done, this should now actually work. We need to account for if the search query is an empty string, because when we load the page it might just do a search and then like set off the use effect and do a search, and then if we do that we need to just return an empty object. So let's do if search query triple equals that, that, then what we want to do, we want to do res.json. Actually we want to return res.json because we don't want it to execute any more code, and that's it. So we just want it to do that if we get an empty object. So this should all now work as we expect. So let's try that. Let's try going back to here. Okay. Let's do that. Right, let's just see what's happened here. So yeah, we're getting the search results in here. Maybe we can console log the data and see what we get back as well. Where is that? So let's console log this data, make sure we're getting the right stuff back. Then we can put it into state, Redux state. Once we're happy. Right, let's do that again. So the search. Then see what we're getting back. So we're getting the right array back. So here, yeah, perfect. I'm going to take this out because it's not needed, and plus it will give an error if we're not on the page before it happens. And then what we're going to do is in the post actions, we're going to do in the post actions. So where is the post actions? Redux, post actions. We're going to move this basically into the post actions, this bit. So let's do we can call it exactly the same thing. Post search. So let's do action creator. Post search. And then we're going to take in the search and the page. And the page. Then we're going to say search post request. Search. We need to create these as well. Search post. It's going to be posts because we're going to do more than one search. Post request request. 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 And then we're going to do the same thing here. Search post success, and then here as well we're going to do fail. And then so in this bit we need to in the try catch block. This should be already here, so that's fine, and we can get rid of the rest of it. Then we can dispatch the post search. Dispatch. If I can spell dispatch. Dispatch. And then what we need to do is bring in this post search from where we just created it. Import post search. There it is from Redux post actions, that one. Right, and then okay, looks fine. And then we need the reducer to do the same type of thing. Oops, don't know why I closed that for. So reducer, type in reducer, then it's search post reducer, I guess. Search posts reducer. State, let's do an empty object. Then in here we need to do search post request. Search posts request. Then search posts success. Then in here it's going to be, that's going to be what is it, search posts. Search posts. Then here, oops, what's going on here? And in below here. Just call it fail. And then let's bring in this search post into the component. Before we do that, we need to bring it into the combiner reducer. So it's going to be search posts. It should be that one. Okay, bring that in. Right, and then let's go in here, and then it's going to be use selector. And then this is going to be search posts. Oh, hold on, I think I called it the same name as the reducer. That's not going to work. So let's call this res posts. Yeah, there's going to be some kind of errors here. Let's call this search error. Search error. Oops, don't happen there. Let's call this one loading, search loading. I mean, we don't need to use these states. I'll just set these up just in case we need them. Sometimes we need them, sometimes we don't. I think because I've got the boilerplate going, just easier to do it all in one go. That looks fine. And then, right, let's call this res posts instead. So it's got a different name. Hopefully that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Then console log res posts. Right, let's have a look here. Yeah, loading is not defined. Maybe because that's not working properly. Let's have a look at that. Right, let's go in here and have a look. Let's bring these in here first. Right, we've done that. Save it. Then just make sure that this is spelt correctly. Search post reducer. Yeah, that looks fine. Right, so then I think this should be working actually. Might not be working, but search post fail is not defined. Okay, so it's fine. Just see. Okay, so it looks like we are getting the data here. That's perfect. This is coming through the state now, and we're getting it here from the state. So what page was it? 32, yeah, so that's line 32, so perfect. It's returning us this object, and it's coming, and basically we can't actually use this pagination because it's not connected up yet. This is a different pagination to the one that's on this page. So what we need to do, we need to create a new pagination component that is going to respond to the search only. So we're combining the search and the pagination. So this is basically a bit more complicated than just doing a search on its own. We're going to get rid of that pagination bit from the previous one because this is going to be we're going to paginate the search component. So we're going to need to create a new pagination component. So the pagination component we're going to create is called search paginate. So we can just copy and paste this, and then in the components just paste it in here. And then let's call this search paginate. So search paginate. We're going to bring in the search here, and we're going to create this So we're going to bring in a search, so we need to pass that search in, and then the search component. So it's going to be like this basically. We're going to do this instead of what's in there. And we change this to none, and then we need to pass in, hold on, that is a mistake, that's a mistake. It should be in this component. Okay, so that's that, and then that looks okay, everything else okay. We need to bring that in. Okay, and then we need to pass in the search. So type in search equals search. You might be wondering why am I not changing the name. We don't really need to actually, because we can just bring it in, just bring in this one, and then right, so where is it? So this one, we just bring in the search paginate rather than the other one. So that should now work. That something's not defined, the loading is not defined. Okay, so what it's saying is this loading here is not defined, so we can just get rid of this actually, and we can get rid of this one as well. Alright, that should now be there. Right, posts is not defined. We can actually rename this posts as well, and we have to rename it as well in the reducer. So I think this is it here. Okay, right, now let's see what happens. Res posts here not defined, yeah, that's fine. Just get rid of that. Oops. Okay, something's not happened. Okay, so that should be if number is not defined. Okay, that's fine. Actually, don't think we need that bit now. Just get rid of that. That's unnecessary. Right, let's try that. Right, let's refresh the page again and try again. Post search is not defined. Okay, that's fine. So in here, sorry, let's just copy this one here, I think. Right. Okay. Right, perfect. This is now working. It's returning 5 instead of 6. So that's now working perfectly. Set search is not defined. Okay, so let's go in here and see what the set search is not defined is. This set search here. We're going to create a new new state, and we're going to call it new search. So let's change this now actually to new search. And the reason being is because we might need to do a new search actually in here. So this is now in a different page, it's in a search page. But if we do a search from here, then we need it to still search. Like from this page, we did a search, but when we search, we push to the sets, we push to this page here. But now we can't push to this page, we need to now do a search on this page instead. The reason that we push this page is really to start using the paginate on this page, because if you use it on the previous page, then on the home page there would have been a conflict. So because they've already got kind of the first return. So right, let's do this anyway. Let's set up this state. And then new search, I think it's called. Okay. Right, so now we've got a new search state. So that error shouldn't appear again because we don't have any normal search. And this should be a capital as well. I think I need to replace the batteries in my mouse. So that's all still working, there's no... And let's see if we can do a search here. Okay, that's still not working. That's because we need to set off a new action when that happens, actually. Because we're going to do a search from here. Let's go into the index page and then see if we can get that search. I think it's this one here. So let's just put that in there, and this is now called new search, but otherwise it should be the same. Oh, hold on, there's no push this time. Handle search is already defined, so let's get rid of one of them, and this should be, this one should be so that could stay, we don't need to change that. All we need to do is do one of these, and instead of saying this, we can say this. Okay, so that should now work. Right, so do that. Okay, that's working perfectly. And then we're now going to hook up a clear search button here, and that all that's going to do is basically clear the search. So let's start doing that. So this button here, let's just copy it down, and then let's call this clear search. And then for this one, we're going to give it the color of secondary. Right, why is this not lining up properly? Oh, perfect. Right, let's put a little bit of margin in here. Right, that looks perfect. Margin top, MT margin top 0.5 rem. So now we need to then hook up this clear search button. So what we're going to do here, let's call this clear search. Okay, and then in the clear search button, we're going to then create a function called, so if you do CF, and then call this clear search, then what this clear search is going to do is going to dispatch something called clear data, but we haven't created that function yet, so we're going to do that now. So clear data, we could call it clear search, I guess, but anyway, let's call it clear data, and then let's create that function, action creator. So if we just type in this, it's going to be a lot different to the ones that we've been creating. It's going to be called clear data, data, and then here let's call this clear data, and then we're going to have to create a constant, and this constant is going to be data, and then this data is just going to be an empty string. So then you'll then basically clear any data that we've got in here. We just want to type in clear data, and then here we just want to get rid of this, and then just type in console log. Error. Because we're not going to really get into the situation we're going to get an error because we're clearing data. Okay, so that's what we want to do now is go into the post reducer, and then when we've got search post reducer here, we want to just copy that, copy it down, and then let's just call this clear data. Okay, so then that should work. We might need to bring this in. Let's call one clear data, and then clear data. Well, and then let's go into here, and then what we can do in here, we can also do a few things. So in here we can do this, here we can do this, and then just get rid of this, and then we can do in here router.push, and we want to push to the home page. Right, that should work. Right, let's have a look at this. So we're on so you can see that this is then let's clear the search. Should get pushed back to the home page, and we should have 12 now. Yep, good, we've got 12. Right, so that's all working. Let's do the same with China. Search and clear search. We've gone back here. We've gone back to 12. So that's all working. Create a card details page. So when we click on one of these cards, it's going to go through to give the details, give a few more details about this card. So the way we're going to do that is come into here, and then we're going to create that details page first. So we're going to go src, and in here we're going to create a folder called post, and then in that post folder we're going to create a post id.js file. And then if you type in nafce, if you're using my boilerplate, then you should get just a plain boilerplate like this. And this should be post ID, and this should be post ID as well, actually. Okay, right, and then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, we're going to push to this page. So let's go to the card component. So post card, here it is. And then we're going to create a div here. So we can convert that. Let's not do that. Let's create a new div. And then in that div, we're going to create an on-click functionality. On-click. And then on the click, what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to put an empty function, and then it's going to be router.push, and we're going to push to src, and then it's going to be post, and then it's going to be post data. We want actually post data ._id. And then what we're going to do, put a style here of cursor pointer, so that will make it look like a button when you click over it. That's the one. Right, let's have a look at this and make sure it works. Right, so this is working perfectly. Right, so we're now here in this post ID component. So in this component, what we want to do, we want to put a grid first. There's a fragment, get rid of this because we don't need it. Let's put a grid, an ordinary grid, and then this grid is going to have a margin top of x equals mt for margin top, and then it's going to be 0.5 rem. That's just going to give it a bit of a border at the top. And then we're going to have a paper in here. We need to actually bring this stuff in actually, we haven't done that yet, but we can do that in a minute. SX for this is going to be padding is going to be 20 pixels. The border radius is going to be 15 pixels. And then margin top is going to be 1. Okay, and then let's give this an elevation as well. So if you come out of this, so we're going to do elevation equals 6. Make it a little bit more chunky. And then we're going to do a grid container. We need to bring these things in. So if you do this, right, control and spacebar, it will give you some suggestions. Right, so that's done. Now we need to then put another grid in this paper bit. So that's the one. And in this grid container, we're going to basically split it in half. So it's going to be 2 grid items. So grid item, and then there's going to be 2 of these. So we can control, bring that down, and each of these is going to have XS of 6. That here as well. Right. So in the first one, we're going to start putting in a typography, and it's going to be variant is going to be H3, and then the component is going to be H2. Component is going to be right, and then there's going to be post title. So post, we haven't brought this stuff in yet, so let's leave this for now actually, because we haven't brought this stuff in, but that's what we're going to put there. It should be this bit. And then this one is going to be a body 1. Body 1, and then it's going to be a component of P, and this is going to be message. So let's copy this down, and this is going to be variant of H6. H6 as well. Then this is going to be creator. Just put some question marks here just in case you don't get them back, but it should be there anyway. We're going to check here as we bring it in anyway, but just put it anyway. So here, divider. Between these dividers, we're going to put a comment section. So divider, we need to bring that divider in. Yep, the first one. This is a self-closing divider, and then this is going to be excess margin 20 pixels. Right, and then we need 2 of these, and then in between them we're going to have a comment section. Comment. With I have used it. And the image is going to be post. Let's put a question mark as well. Image, and then grid component. We're going to have a typography. It's got to have a variant of body 2, and the color is going to be text secretary, which is kind of a grey color. The tags are going to be kind of non-showing, kind of, you can see it just barely. The SX margin top empty is going to be 0.5 rem. Oops, 0.5 rem. And then at the bottom we're going to have 2 rem. So MB 2 rem. We can actually leave it as one. It looks okay as well. So put that in there. And question mark dot tags dot map. And then for each tag, we're going to do tag dot length. If tag dot length is greater than 22. I think I needed to do it on the previous page, but I just copied it over. Tag dot substring 22 0 plus. I think this should be hashtag. This bit should be here. And then it's going to be else. It's going to be hashtag and $ tag. That should have worked. Right. This div is going to have the recommender systems in it. So for this, we're going to have a H5 typography. It's going to be gutter bottom. Gutter bottom just gives it a bit of bottom margin. It's a standard bottom margin. H5. This is going to be, and this is then going to give the recommended post. Then for now we're just going to leave this bit here like this. Let's just bring in these, make sure that we got these. So that's there. Card media, I don't think we've defined that either. Right, then that should be fine. We'll get the single post back, so we have to make a call to the back end to get that. So if we type in N router, in here we need to type in C router. And then from the router we're going to get the post ID, so we're going to do const post ID and then equals router.query, And then what we need to do is we need to do a use effect. So use effect, let's bring the use effect in, and then this use effect is going to call something called get post, which we haven't created yet, which is going to return a single post, and then we're going to update this when we update the post ID. And then what we're going to do, we're going to create that get post component, but before that let's create a use state for the post. So let's create use state, and then this is going to be post because we're bringing back a single post. And then let's then make a call to get this post. So we're going to create a function, and it's going to be a cf function, and it's a try function, and then it's going to be get post, and then it's going to be async function, and then we're going to do cdata to get the snippet, data, do control and space, that's the one, and then it's going to be a get request, then it's going to be to API, and then it's going to be to posts, and then it's going to be to a single post, so post, and then it's going to be to post ID, so whatever the post ID is, that's it. Okay. And then use state has not been defined, so let's bring that in. And then here we need to then set the post to data, the data that we get back. Right, that should be fine. And then let's create the backend component. So let's go to API/posts. So API/posts, and then we need to make a folder called post, sorry. And then in that post folder, we're going to create component called post.js, paste id.js. And then right, okay. Right, this looks fine. Right, hold on. I think that should be in the same location as well, actually. Right, let's see if we can target this then. Use state is not defined. I think it's defined now. Imported Axios, so that's probably the reason why. From Axios, right, now let's try. Refresh, reload. Yeah, so we're getting hit the back end now. Perfect. Right, and then once we do that, we can get the post, we can return the post. So const post is equal to await post find by ID, and then it's going to be post, oh sorry, it's not post, correct, dot query dot post ID, and then it's going to be return, then it's going to be res dot res, that one, dot status 200, then that's going to be post, and then let's just send the post, not JSON it. Right, that should now work. Right. Let's remove that. Let's now try. Okay, I think I know what it is. Let's just console log here the data that we're getting back. C log data. Let's try that. Refresh. Aha, we're getting something back. Perfect. Right, so why is this not actually, maybe it's going into, let's try console log in the post out here. Then that might work. Reload. Right, so that's worked. 13. I think it's because the console log wasn't. Okay, right, that's fine. That's all working fine. Let's put, I don't think we need to put return statement. Let's try return statement. Yep, everything's fine. In this return now, so what we can do is just make this, bring these in and see if it works. It should actually work. Let's see. Oh, this is in the wrong place, so it should be there. Right, other than that, it should work. Perfect. Right. So, but it's only showing 1 for some reason. It's because we don't have a comment in here yet. Comment section. Let's see what that looks like actually. I'm going to create a comment section and a recommender system. I was going to do it in this video, but this video is getting a little bit long now, so I'm going to create another video instead. If you like the video, then please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. This will help the channel and help me to make these videos. Obviously, it's been a while since I've done the other one because I've been quite busy, but the more support I get, the more likely is that I will continue to make these videos and help you, and then you can help me by leaving the comments. Thank you.